You've probably come across a video telling you need to invest in your 20s. And if you haven't, it's already too late. Or you're scrolling through TikTok, and some 19-year-old finance bro just told you you're doomed. He started investing at 15, now he's retiring by 30, and apparently you've missed the boat. But here's the truth. About 40% of Americans don't have any retirement savings, and nearly 20% aged 50 plus have zero savings. You're not alone, and the best part? You're not too late, not even close. In fact, if you start today and understand the simple principle, you could outperform someone who started years before you. J.L. Collins actually wrote a book titled The Simple Path to Wealth, and it highlighted 3 simple rules. 1. Spend less than you earn. 2. Get out of debt. 3. Invest. Now, these are all simple in theory, but actually sticking to it, that is what would separate you from the majority. Just like losing weight, everyone knows what to do, but doing it, yeah, that's real work. To spend less than you earn, just earn more. To get out of debt, don't buy anything you can't afford, and to invest, well, just invest. The special thing about investing is it maximizes one principle. What principle? Compound interest. It's not just math. It's time, patience, and strategy, and it can rewrite your financial future no matter your age. Let's rewind. The phrase "start early" has been burned into every finance book, podcast, and teacher's speech since forever. And yes, time does help. But it's also not the only ingredient in building wealth. Because compound interest isn't just about when you start. It's about what you do once you've started. Here's how the myth began. In the 1700s, Albert Einstein was allegedly asked what the most powerful force in the universe was. He said compound interest. Now, he probably didn't actually say that, but the idea stuck because it sounds poetic and true. Now let's talk psychology. Because the biggest obstacle to building wealth isn't the market. It's your mind. The truth is, your brain is wired to seek instant rewards and avoid discomfort. Neuroscientists at Harvard and the University of Oxford found that when we act consistently, even in small habits like exercising or saving, our brains release dopamine, the same chemical behind motivation and satisfaction. That means consistency literally feels good to your brain. It creates a loop. You show up, you feel rewarded, you want to show up again. That's how wealth is built, not from big leaps, but from small, repeated wins that your brain learns to crave. Most people, though, fall into the trap of regret. They wait for the perfect time to start, after the next crash, after the raise, after the fear passes. But waiting is just procrastination dressed up as strategy. A study by J.P. Morgan found that investors who tried to time the market underperformed those who simply stayed invested by more than 3% per year, even through major downturns. Here's why. If you missed just the 10 best days in the last 20 years, your returns would have been cut in half. Half gone, simply because you let emotion overrule consistency. The market will rise and fall, crash and recover, but over time, the long-term trend always favors patience. Think of 2 investors. Emma starts at 22, invests $200 a month, but stops at 32. Mark starts late at 35, investing $400 a month until 65. By retirement, Mark, the late starter, ends up richer. Why? Because while Emma started early, she stopped letting her money work for her. Mark kept feeding the machine. Compound interest rewards the persistent, not just the early. Warren Buffett, who didn't become a billionaire until his 50s, once said, "Someone is sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." But notice he didn't say the time you planted the tree matters the most. He meant that you just have to plant it and keep watering it. Buffett's real secret wasn't perfect timing. It was that he never stopped. He kept reinvesting, year after year, for 7 decades. If you invested $500 a month starting at age 35, earning an average 8% return, you'd have nearly $750,000 by 65. If someone started at 25 with the same contribution but stopped at 35, they'd only have around $400,000 by retirement. Starting early helps, but staying consistent wins. Compounding only works if you let your gains stay in the game. That's why dividend reinvestment plans, DRIPs, and auto-investing tools exist. They keep your money cycling without emotion or delay. Every reinvested dollar is a tiny employee that never sleeps. Sell them too early, and you fire your best workers before they hit their stride. Now let's address another hidden factor, the return rate. Yes, time matters, but the difference between a 6% and 9% return over 30 years is staggering. A 6% return turns 200,000 into about 1.1 million. A 9% return, 2.6 million. Same timeline, same effort, just smarter allocation. That's why learning, adjusting, and diversifying beats simply starting early and coasting. This doesn't mean you should mindlessly chase high interest rates, but be smart and practice risk management. As Ray Dalio says, the biggest mistake investors make is to think that what happened in the recent past will continue. You need to adapt. The goal isn't to time the market. It's to spend more time in the market wisely. So what's the real message here? You're not behind. You're just stepping onto a different part of the curve. And if you feed it correctly, it'll catch you up faster than you think. If you're 30, 40, even 50, here's how to win. 1. Automate everything. Take emotion out of it. Set up automatic investments and reinvest dividends. Forget the perfect time. Perfection is the enemy of compounding. 2. Increase gradually. Every raise, every tax refund, every bonus, raise your contribution a bit. This small snowball effect adds thousands without you feeling it. 3. Avoid withdrawals. Interrupting compounding is like pulling a cake out of the oven halfway. You'll never know what it could have been. 4. Keep reinvesting and learning. Learn as you go. The market changes, but the principle doesn't. Patience compounds too. Here's what most people miss. You can't control when you started, but you can absolutely control how long you stay in the game. Think of your wealth like a flywheel. The hardest part is the first push. After that, every consistent rotation adds speed until momentum takes over. That's compounding in math, in money, in life. And if you're still doubting yourself, remember this. Warren Buffett made 99% of his wealth after age 50. Colonel Sanders founded KFC at 62. Even Apple, one of the world's richest companies, was almost bankrupt before it compounded its way into history. It's not when you start, it's that you start and don't stop. So next time someone tells you you're too late, just smile. Because the truth is, compound interest doesn't care what year it is. It just cares whether you show up. You don't need to go back in time to build wealth. You just need to give time something to work with. If you learned something today, don't forget to like the video. It tells YouTube this is content worth spreading.